One. And to continue the WIPAC podcast at WEX Global, I'm sat here with GIgi Karmous-Edwards of Karmous-Edwards Consulting. She works with a number of different companies on the technical solutions. She also works with the Swan Forum on the digital twin panel.
Yes.
So GIgi, welcome to WEX.
Thank you so much.
I hope you're having a great time so far.
Oh, I'm having an absolutely wonderful time here.
So we'll jump straight in. Digital twins. A lot of people confused about it. What are they?
What are they? Simply put, they are a software model of a physical system that utilizes data from the physical system as well as modeling software that represent the physical assets or the components as well as the behavior of that system. So the model really takes care of the behavior of that system. And once you can develop this and calibrate it, you then have a very powerful tool for operations, for predictive analysis, for what-if scenarios, for optimization, efficiency, and the list goes on and on. But that is what a digital twin is.
So we're sat here in Valencia. The obvious thing here in Valencia, they have the GOAGWA Global Omnium Digital Twin. Would you say that's probably the most advanced digital twin in the world, or in terms of the water industry?
Well, I do believe that is the case. Starting the digital twin working group with Swan, I've reached out to utilities around the world and vendors around the world to try to understand what's happening in terms of digital twin.
State of the art.
Yeah, the state of the art. And so far, what they have here in Global Omnium, they spent 15 years building. So they spent 15 years first digitizing everything, developing the software architecture, and then for the last 5 years, they've had a true digital twin where it's a calibrated hydraulic model based on near real-time data from the physical system and calibrated with data from the physical system and using it in operations to find leaks, to their efficiencies, to energy efficiencies on their pumping schedules, predictive analysis on their demand forecasts. So they're actually using it in real time for the benefit of operations.
I saw it yesterday, and I must admit it was now casting to futuristic 24 hours in the future casting. And when I've always struggled, and I've been quite open about this, of what a digital twin is and how it differs from an operational model. And I've always struggled with that concept until I saw it yesterday. And I suppose it was being presented by technical people and being used as a tool for operations that things clicked into place with me.
I've heard a lot of people say that, actually.
I suppose it is quite a complex process because a lot of people will think, we heard Dragon Savage this morning say, artificial intelligence is great, but it's not going to solve everything. Please, 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 please don't think it is.
Yes.
And when I saw the digital twin yesterday, it was hydraulic model only. Great, fantastic. There's a lot you can do with hydraulics. Their next step was very much around water quality, perhaps, and looking at different scenarios.
Yes.
So potentially wastewater hydraulics, but potentially other areas where it potentially can help.
Yes.
I think with me yesterday, one of the key things was they had the technical person, Pilar, and it's actually taken a lot of technical weight off her because it's facilitated people to understand the system and understand the limits that they can operate to.
Yes.
And that's incredibly valuable. One of the points that came up this morning is we still need technical people. And technical people should be at the core of the development. Global Omnium had that with Pilar.
Yes.
And that was important.
I agree with that.
It's, I suppose, like artificial intelligence, you can't say digital twin is a a one digital twin is a model for everything that will do everything. And we've heard in the UK talk about a national digital twin, and to be honest, to me it says you're in cloud cuckoo land. But from yesterday, what I could see was, yes, you've got a digital twin for water. You can have a digital twin for energy, a digital twin for this. And again, one of the points that was made yesterday: how do they interact? If they don't interact, then don't connect them together.
Yeah.
And that was actually really interesting to hear. Going, here is the limitations.
So I have some thoughts on this. So basically, you can build a digital twin of one of those sectors, let's say water. And in the design phase, I think you can start to look at optimization.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say there is a water energy nexus. We are at the water energy nexus conference. Then you could start to see how a digital twin of the energy system and a digital twin of the water system could get co-optimized together because of this nexus.
Because they are integrally linked.
Exactly.
But I think the point was yesterday was, yes, you've got the water digital twin, you've got the energy digital twin, but potentially you've got a traffic digital twin.
Yes.
Those don't naturally belong in the same box, so don't connect them.
Yeah.
And that was, I suppose it's an obvious point in a way, but it is a crucial point as we all start thinking about smart cities.
Yes.
And within smart city, you're going to have
interactions.
True BIM, what BIM originally was, which was building information management, and the management of a building, and how that building interacts with the water, power, gas, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And I suppose, maybe that's what they're contemplating as a national digital twin. I don't know. But
I think it is. And in fact, I learned a lot from all of you in the UK. I think the UK is taking a big lead in terms of building information modeling. I think you introduced that to me maybe a year or so ago.
There's a big group in the UK, BIM for Water, which is run out of British Water.
Yes.
And for me, that's, in some ways, it's an incremental development. I remember AutoCAD.
Yes.
I remember 3D AutoCAD, and there's a water company in the UK, United Utilities, who did a great project with one of their engineering consultants around 3D AutoCAD because they were very limited on a piece of land, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
To me, actually, BIM for water is just the next step on from that.
100%.
And you can also argue that digital twin is the next step on from an operational model.
I agree. And
we talk about innovation in the UK as a big bang innovation. I see it all the time, especially with instrument manufacturers. They've got a lot of hard-working research and development sections within their companies doing that incremental innovation.
Yes.
Doing that step by step by step, and it's through that development that we've now got NFC on near field communication with sensors. We've got Bluetooth with sensors. Some have developed heart interfaces with sensors. Despite heart being a good 40 years old, it's that looking at that application of how the interaction.
Yes.
And it's that incremental innovation that I think sometimes gets overlooked.
Yes, no, I agree. And in fact, with the digital twin working group in Swan, one of the things at the last workshop in Amsterdam, which was in November, I invited people that have been working with BIM. There's a company called Equidamus that has created a platform to store a lot of BIM data, and other companies that are starting to look at that and really realizing that in the water utility space, and this is an enigma to me, even if you start off using BIM and all this rich information, even maintenance documents and 3D components, everything, in most cases, once you get past construction and into operation, that data is sort of like put to the side and not utilized. But if you can imagine this rich set of data now as part of the operational digital twin that you saw with Global Onion, for example, how amazing that would be. And that's what I'm really hoping we can see.
I suppose that's where digital transformation hits digital twin.
Yes.
Because, yes, previous operations manuals that have come out of projects, agreed. And I've certainly walked into wastewater treatment works or water recycling centre or whatever you want to call them. And it's because you see a bookshelf with 40 files on it because it's got absolutely everything in it.
Yes.
And of course it gets ignored in the main. Maybe one file gets picked up and used, or maybe two.
Yes.
But if you've got that digitally and
already
actually,
connected.
yes, we've talked about the industry's talked about augmented reality, and I believe Northumbrian Water in the UK are starting on augmented reality.
Yes.
But I suppose it's getting that information to the operator in the field at his or her fingertips.
Yes.
If it's stuck in a file in the file room, well, what's the point?
Yes. Yeah.
Myself as a designer, I saw something I think on LinkedIn maybe a couple of months ago, and it was very much around you going to an installation, you put on your augmented reality goggles or whatever interface device you have, and you see all the measurements. Now, of course, those measurements may change a little bit over time, but that's useful because you could almost have an app inside that and go, and when you're looking at a flow, I mean, I'm a flow geek, when you're looking at that flow rate, almost going, okay, that's doing that, that's measuring that, that device is integrating with that, and that's my flow rate.
Yeah.
So almost not have any displays on site, and it all being an augmented reality. And I know that's a sort of cloud cuckoo land dream, but you've got to, I suppose, aim that bar relatively high.
Yeah, and what I think is great about my understanding of BIM is that it shows the interactions and interconnectivity of all the different components. So if you do make a change to one that has an impact on the other,
it all changes.
It all changes together. So I think that's very significant and very helpful when we start looking at digital twin at the operational phase eventually. So
yeah, it's
I
interesting.
think I'm hoping we're going to get to that stage where all engineering and expansion designs are now going to start using this rich set of data, and then that rich set of data is going to continue on through construction, and you can have a digital twin optimizing continuously during the construction phase, and then finally into operational phase.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's about all we've got time for because we are both due somewhere within about 5-10 minutes time.
That's great.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it's been an absolute pleasure, and have a great rest of WEX.
Thank you, and you too.
And potentially, I'll definitely see you at Swan.
Absolutely.
And potentially see you next month at IWA Digital.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Okay.
Take care, GIgi.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.